Hi guys, I hope you're all well. In this video, I didn't want to leave you hanging. I'm suddenly aware, as a lot of you have bought FEWD, which is really great. Thank you for the support of that, and thank you for exploring this new tool. A lot of you have bought it, but a lot of the how-tos are quite dispersed across a lot of different videos and longer videos, and that's not so helpful. So in this video, I thought I would do a quick interface tour. There is one already on the FEWD Studio YouTube channel, which I've put together. Obviously, a lot of you might not even know that. You might think it's all on my channel, but FEWD Studio does have its own YouTube channel, and this is where there'll just be a lot more sort of short, snappy videos on how to do much more specific things. There's also the full website build if I continue doing that. But yeah, well, actually, yeah, that's the problem. A lot of these are quite longer videos, but I need to put some shorter, snappier ones like these on, and so I will do that. There is an interface tour, but as I said to someone on the Facebook group only today, it's been fast moving, and so things have changed very quickly. And so I think what I'll have to do is kind of like do an update video, maybe a bit like this. Every so often. I'll try and do that every week, just while it's in the stage of lots of changes. But I think it's starting to settle now, and it's settling into being the tool that it'll be for a while. But yes, what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to give you a fresh interface tour of the version as it was released for sale, and we'll get to know it together a little bit. So let's go to FEWD. And just double check that I've got everything in the shot there. Cool. Yeah, this is going to be a raggy little video, just a one take, throw it all together. But I'm going to, from this point onwards, stop yapping and just be quite objective in what I'm showing you. I'm an old bugger, so I need to get spectacular. You're already spectacular, Chris. Nah, stop it. Anyway, right, so okay, so FEWD Studio is a desktop application. As you know, you open it up and presented with usually blank canvas. So we're going to run through the interface very quickly. I'm just going to point out the kind of process you might want to go through, and once we've done that, we'll quickly set something up, and I'll show you Gen CSS as well as it's starting to develop. I know a lot of you are on the waiting list for that, which is great. So FEWD Studio, it opens up with essentially, well, 5 default panels, okay? And the reason there are 5 is because I thought originally, you've got front-end web development, and that's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But the way that I'm working, the way that I've learned to work effectively is to use a global style sheet as well. So that's 4 panels, 2 CSS ones and HTML and JavaScript. And then, of course, if I move my face out of the way, just so we can see these, we've got the assets panel as well, which is just another essential to desktop coding. You need to be able to jump into the files and into your folders and actually handle the assets. So in this case, you don't have to do that with WordPress. This is a new concept for those coming from WordPress, but you need to make a folder and put your fonts in there, and I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. You need to get your images and put them into a folder on your desktop in your project files, and then we reference them directly through the pathway. And so that's just another essential element of FEWD Studio that had to be there. So that's that's why we've got the 5 default panels: HTML or template in framework mode, CSS. This is the one that links to the structure tree there and gives you selector specific file editing. Then we've got the global, which obviously we've covered that. You expand them by clicking on the plus, and this will be a global style sheet, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Then you've got the JS, and then you've got the assets. Okay, so 5 default panels, but you can tuck them out of the way. Just click on the minus there. It's not going to do anything scary. You can drag these out of the way, so you can sort of like sideline it if you've opened one up, or you don't want to see your globals and you've minimized it, but you still want to like tuck it out of the way, you can chuck it to the side there. Now, okay, let's start here. I've explained the panels. We are able to create additional panels. Okay, so if we click this one, this is an HTML, and they have to be specific because of the nature of the live update, at least in creative mode. But because there's a live update thing, all of this is passing through, and it has to be, it's a specific type of panel. So this one is HTML, and you can remove it by close panel. Obviously, you can't remove altogether the 5 defaults. Then here we've got CSS. Can you see that? Yeah. So yeah, the middle one there is the icon CSS, and this behaves more like the global one. So it's a full sheet. It's not structure tree node specific. To be honest, this is more if you're needing to check in on a different file or component, CSS or something like that. You probably don't really need to use that so often. And then JS. On my JS test one, I do need to open that up because I've got. Oh, I should have said that the JavaScript panel is kind of, for better for worse, but it's related to the element that you're working on in the structure tree, just like the default CSS. And so if you want a broader sort of global main JS file, you need to use this one here and create and connect to a new one, and this would have more of a complete sort of JavaScript. I've got a project I can show you in a second where we can see that. So yeah, I'm going to close that down. So I'm back to the defaults, and yeah, that's happy days. And then this one is a plain one. So it's open any text or any file. It's not going to wrestle you into HTML or anything like that. And this is important for when you need to check in on env files and things. And that happened just because I was in a project and I needed to do that, and I had to nip to VS Code to have a look at that type of file. And I was like, well, who wants to do that? So now that's why we've got the additional panel there, and this end one is the plain. So it's the same order as the defaults. It's HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript, and then we've got the plain on the end, and you can add them and remove them. So I'm going to close that one down. I don't need it. Back to defaults. Okay, so I'll finish the interface tour, and then we'll actually go through the process of a workflow to set up from scratch. So I will end that to say this is the folder where you would set your directory folder, and the reason you do that is because once you're in that and you click on one of the panels to connect, it's going to draw from those of your set directory. That'll make sense in a minute when we work through. Okay, the structure panel, obviously we know what this is. This is quite intuitive from page builders, but we've got the base HTML elements, so section, div, text, button or link, and an image. And when you add these, I'm not connected, but I can add a few of these anyway. If I was to, so if I'm on the div and I press another div, it's going to be a child. If I hold Option and press it, it's going to be a sibling there. I'm just going to remove those, keep it neat. And obviously you can add like buttons or links and drag it around. It acts like any other page builder really. You can change the tags. I don't know, I said on a video that I didn't know whether to sort of diminish this list a lot, but it came in handy the other day. I ended up just wanting to change the element altogether, and so I did, and it worked, and I was like, well, it's not too bad. So I don't know thoughts on that, but you can just type in, and you've got the tag that you need. So yeah, anyway. So it actually does change the nature of the element, and I don't actually feel like that's a bad thing. It's gone in my favor more often than not. Right, okay, cool. And then obviously we've got image. Now, as you have all of the different elements here, you get different options in the inspector panel. You've got the ID, the class, the tag as we've gone over, and the actual content. So with an image, that's going to be source and caption and alt. And if you change any of these, it's just updating in the panel there behind my head. just like that. Okay. Now let's have a look at the classes. So if you've tagged all of this out, sorry, not tagged, classed it all out, you can see here that we've got a div and a text tag. So let's change that to a heading. So I am just doing a rush through one. So, obviously, you can sit down with a cup of tea and a few biscuits and just get to grips with all this, and then go to town. So we've got H2 and a P tag, and then we can have another div and a button. Okay, so we've got all of these, and now we've got that structure all sorted out, and we've got the semantics sorted out. We can get to work with the selectors. Okay, so this would be a hero, and I'm going to press enter. Now we've got the hero class attached to that. Now, if we have a quick peek at this is our selector. And we need to put a style on there, but if we have a look in it, there's nothing there because we haven't got anything there. If we look at the global sheet, I haven't even, forget that. I've gotten too carried away into tutorials, so forget that. All right, but we'll go more in depth in a minute on that. But that's how you would add like the classes and the selectors to different elements, and then we'll go over how to edit them in a minute. Okay, so that's those are the HTML elements and the structure panel and the inspector. Up here, there's not really anything you need up here. It shows you this sets up automatically anyway. So on Astro, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 3, 2, 1. It's one of them, but it does it for you. You might, when you're having a look at a project, need to go to something like about, and that works. But yeah, really you don't need to touch this, but it's good. And sometimes you might need to just hit refresh or something along those lines just to obviously refresh. This button here is to disconnect the project. Okay, so what I was finding was that, when I was like, okay, I'm done with this project, that's great. I could manually go and reconnect everything, but it was easier to just start fresh. So click this one, it disconnects all of the panels and resets the project directory, which was this one down here. Okay, cool. To connect a project, obviously you set the project directory, and then we need to start with a template. And so that you'll find that on the actual panels. And so you will click onto here, click onto this icon, and you'll be able to connect into, well, in this case, it's the Astro one on my FEWD Studio site. And then once you've done that, well, I've done it on a few demos, but let's quickly jump to JS test, just so you can see everything in action actually. Okay, so I've just set my project directory, and then I'm going to connect the index.html. Okay, everything fires up there. Now I need to connect my styles CSS sheet, so where I'm actually putting the selectors of my component or whatever, and then okay, and then let's connect up our JS. So I need to put my app.js here, where I might want to have structured node specific JS. To be honest, I prefer having it in main, but this is just something that I saw in a few builders. Etch does it. Obviously, in bricks and breakdowns, you can, put specific JS with a code block and things. But I gotta say, I kind of like having it on a main, to be honest. And then the global, we need to hook up our global CSS. So this is all of our variables and design tokens, and you can see that it all fires up there. Now on this project, I do need. Move my face. I do need to grab another JS panel here, and I'm going to connect that up to my main JS. I'm going to minimize that one just to keep it all a bit neater. And there we go. So just something to note, you might have to give it a little bit of a toggle, and then it all fires up and away it goes. Okay. So yeah, we've got all of the JavaScript, the CSS, and the HTML all joining up seamlessly there, giving us a nice little experience of how the project is running. Okay, cool. So let's so we've done a connecting on the files, how we do that. Let's have a look at component mode and full HTML. Now, the only idea of this was that, again, when I first made FEWD, the reason why I wanted it was because I wanted to build out components in my Boosh site, my agency site, and I wanted to just build the components. That's all I was really after. But then we've also got full HTML because that will add the head and the bottom script where you can place JavaScript. Okay, so this is a development since the free version that you'd have been playing with. That was a little bit faulty in that regard, which someone has asked me about, and I need to get back to you. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mark. And so that's where we would, if we want to have full control over the full HTML, we're going to put it onto full HTML mode, and then on the template panel there, we have the head, and we can add things into this bit, and you can see that it's adding the globals and the styles. And then down here, we've got where FEWD is adding our JavaScript files, and then anything else that we want to put in there. Okay, so that's how you access that full HTML mode. And then you've got the head and the footer there, or before the body tag. HTML inserts and patterns. I'm going to disconnect the project on this one, just so you can see here. If you type in a slash and there's something like hero and press enter, you're going to get patterns. Somebody asked me in the early stages, I think it was Ray, about using components and things like that. And when we're building in Astro and projects, well, you can't do it in HTML and CSS and JavaScript projects so much, but when we're building in Astro, we're actually making components in files. That's how we're sort of creating those. So components are set documents that we create, and we have attached style sheets with them. And they tie to our globals. That's entirely what FEWD is made to create, really, components within Astro or Next projects. And so, but components are different to patterns. Patterns are, they don't really have any, they don't even have to have classes. It's just about the structure that you put in place, to create the different sections. So here we've got that was the hero pattern. So it was slash hero, hit enter, and you're going to get all of those elements firing into place. Just for those that would like a little bit of help with the selectors, first off, some of the patterns will have a -c, meaning classes, and you click that, and you've got the classes there ready to go. So you can, they're all BEM. I need to do some tutorials on BEM if you've not used that. But here we've got the BEM structure coming on through. Okay, cool. So those are some of the, that's one of the inserts there for HTML, and essentially the idea of that was patterns. Now, just like Gen CSS, I've got this idea that we can have something like a bigger pattern library, and I'm not sure if I want that to be completely fused in with FEWD and complicating matters there, but we do have a lot to play with already. So if you want to click on this icon, it's the HTML insert and patterns. Click on that and you'll get a list together. So these are the ones that are there already. This is one that I made in a video recently. I really went to town on getting a correct HTML semantically perfect review section, and then I was like, well, damn it, I'm putting that in FEWD so that other people can use it. So this is a pattern for a review section that has like a list in it of boxes. So let's have a quick peek of that. We just click on it, and it's quite a big one. And we can't see anything on it because it doesn't have content, but this is on the yoga site video. So I do recommend that you check that out in FEWD, on the FEWD website. Oh, it's on my channel and on the FEWD YouTube. So, so we've got that pattern there. that's quite a biggie. But you can also have custom patterns, okay? And so these are bits that I've created in FEWD, and they've carried over through my reinstallations. But these are sections that I've made, and then what I've done is I've right clicked and gone save as an insert. And so if I save, I'd be able to put the name in. I've already got this one, I don't need to resave it, and click save, and then it's going to be in my little patterns library, so on this list. And you can you can search them as well. So in native there are going to be lots, like get a list together, or it will be UL or OL. Vera, I don't know why I did that, sorry. So yeah, lots of options here. I'm going to bring in some real semantically perfect sections to start you off with. It's all searchable. So we're going to have cards, we're going to have all sorts of things. We are going to have a header, I don't see why not. There's already a footer, look at that. I've done so much I've forgotten sometimes, but yeah, here's a basic site footer, okay, and I think that one has class option as well, footer C, okay, yeah, so lots there. Anyway, so that's what is on HTML mode, and then that's on the HTML panel there. If we go to component, it's just the I wish actually I'd opened up VS Code. Let's do that. You got 2 minutes? let's oh well, we'll have to open up a project. Damn it. All right, we'll do it in a bit when we've got one going, I think. But essentially, if you were watching it in VS Code as well, you would toggle this, and you'd see the HTML document appear and then disappear. And it's because this is building a fragment for something like a component. It doesn't need the HTML on the top. So yeah, it's just if you want to build out a section and a component, put it into component mode, and that's the file that you're editing. Okay, cool. CSS also has inserts, and these are not, I don't believe, no, I'm sorry, they are. Here we go. So if you click here, you've also got a bundle of inserts as well. And actually, you'd have seen me using these on the videos. So we've got overlay light, grid auto, flex between wrap. I don't even remember what that one is, if I'm honest. Flex C center. So let's bung that one in. And you can see it just gives you a real head start. And I keep getting these wrong on video, and I just realized I could use this. So I'm trying to use quite a similar sort of naming convention in everything that I'm doing here. So I just had a worry then that I wasn't even recording. So it's like, flex C center, flex R, grid. So anything to do with a card would start with card. Anything to do with a button would start with button. And yeah, anyway, cool. So lots more coming there, and you are able to use plus to add one. Oh yes, cool. I was just about to say I didn't remember how I made it so that you can save your own inserts. But yes, just click the plus. Okay, so click on this and click the little plus there, and you can create your own little snippets that you can use later on. So let's do that, shall we? Our snippet, and oh god, I don't know, color pink. Yeah, that'll do. So our snippet, color pink. Okay, close that out. Our snippet, color pink. All right, all done. And yeah, happy days. Right, there are JavaScript ones as well. Now, I've not had to use loads of JavaScript for a long time. Like I was in Joomla when I was last doing significant amounts of JavaScript, like writing it out myself. And so, yeah, I've been really rusty on this one. So I thought it would be nice to have a little bit of a sort of a head start on some things, and I've researched some of these and just put them in what I thought would be helpful. Okay, so the most helpful one really is button test, and if I button test, it just jumps in, and then you would add your selector here with the dot. Okay, and you'd click on it and it would work. Okay, so yeah, that's cool. Right, on to the next one. So the globes. I haven't explained the globes. Sorry, this was meant to be a very quick interface video, but you getting the details. Let's quickly backtrack to the arrows here, all the way back to the HTML. You can click on this one and it expands it to a semantically styled, full modal for coding. All right, it's really nice to code with, and you can just get all heavy into it. I do this. I jump it up a lot and dive into it, and just when I'm doing more of a section, it's just nicer to have the bigger coding space there. Something to note is that we have Emmet in here as well, and to be so p dot my class, and tab, and that's Emmet coming on through. That also works in these smaller panels as well. Yeah, cool. And we've got Emmet on the CSS as well. This is something I like a lot more. So what might we do? I've just typed it out there instead. Right, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh God. Flex art. No, that's an insert. I've gone blank on my Emmets, although you see me using them in the videos. So align content, center, tab, and there you go. Emmet for CSS. Coolio. All right. Yeah. So you can expand any of these so that they're bigger. Okay. And on the CSS, if you hit this globe one, you're going to see, of course, I'm not attached to it, you're going to see the full CSS sheet. Now, that's important because in Etch and bricks and things like that, you don't get access. You don't get access to the full sheet. But in desktop coding, you really do need it because that is what we're actually producing. So, you can style everything on the selectors and have this sort of, specific experience, but then if you click on the globe, you're going to see the full CSS sheet as you would export it. So that's important to know. Now, every effort has been made to make sure that this is adding in your selectors in alphabetical order. It does that like 99.9% of the time. I've not had an issue with it. But just sometimes you might find one little bit that isn't where it's meant to be. So, double check the work. It's working pretty well. Coolio. You can minimize these but not delete the defaults, by the way, and then use the plus to expand them again. Cool. So we've got all of the little icons covered there, I think. The little arrows, expand it. The globes, where it's possible, give you a full view of them, which is important for these, which are otherwise selector specific. Cool, globals. Okay, so if you click this one, you're going to see Gen CSS. Now, I am sorry, because I think I only announced it on the clone video, but I came to the decision that my ideas for Gen CSS are far too big, really, for, this should expand and grow beyond what it is, and for that reason, I needed to pull it out of FEWD and just being a little FEWD feature. I did think about leaving a free version within FEWD, but it just seems that was going to get quite complex, especially if someone gets the app and tries to mix it all up. So it could cause a lot of issues. So I made the decision that it's going to be a companion app, and this is going to grow in complexity and what it's offering. But yeah, so Gen CSS is a way that you can really take charge of your global CSS sheet, and what that means is it's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting with all of the base and resets for all of the browsers, accessibility. All of this will grow, but of course, you've got your client branding, and it's Gen CSS how you get that initially into all of your variables and your design tokens, and the rest of your project should be leading to that. Good bit of kit, and you get that by clicking on the paint palette there, and that would open up the app. Current FEWD Studio owners will get that very, very discounted, obviously, I appreciate the support of everything. Cool. And then we've got assets. So move my face again. This is quite involved, but God, I hope this is helping for a quick run around. Click on the folder, and again, this is just like this one here for FEWD. We're setting the directory that we want to work in. So in this case, it would be images, and then we're able to drag images in into our project just like that. Okay, and you can rename and delete them as well. All right, so you have to be able to manage your assets, and that's images or fonts. Okay, cool. So that's all of the panels. I think that's pretty much everything, apart from to say we've got creative mode here, and then we've got framework mode. Now, framework mode is what's going to happen when you connect to an Astro file. The free version that you may have used can have a little bit of an issue with Astro files with the different syntax, and the reason for that is because these are plain text. It would be nice if these were always syntax styled, but the nature of the back and forth on these ones, it's live updating a browser, and it's taking in all of the structure that's created. I do have some plans for creating. We've got component and then full HTML, and then creating an actual Astro mode. And that would mean that we have things like Astro slots and bits and pieces like that, all the fields for components that we can just bring in with something like a structure tree. But it needs an entirely different system that we're going to switch to. So until then, it's Astro compatible in framework mode, because this isn't going to mess with the syntax of your Astro file. Now, my FEWD Studio website is an Astro site, and I'm using this all the time. It's not presented a problem. Obviously, always save. You never know when something could occur, but make sure you're regularly saving your project. But yeah, it's been absolutely fine for me. Now, we're not in a project, so I can't really show you, but then we do, well, okay, no, let's just do it. I wanted to show you this, didn't I? So let's, FEWD website, let's connect to my FEWD website, and source, pages, index Astro, and here we go. All right, we're in. Global CSS. Okay, so this is the brains of my website. Unfortunately, it was AI'd first of all, and I've got to do lots of unpicking, but I'll get some time to do that. Anyway, we've got framework mode, which means that we're all safe and happy to work in this. Oh, I should have said you can, move this all around and everything. But then we've got disco mode. Boom. Yeah, just need a mirror ball. So if you want that syntax styling experience, you can have it. Okay, so it's it's all there to use. We can do that with JavaScript as well. Now, when you have this all up on your big screen, I can't show you right, but it's a really immersive experience. I've actually really enjoyed it because VS Code, you have to hop one to the other, or it's left to the right, whereas this is just you've got your preview, and yeah. It's a lovely immersive experience, to be honest. Having all the panels there, and you're just flitting around, doing what you need to do. Go big or go home. It's been really lovely. Obviously, we've got Emmet and syntax styling in this mode, all really cool. What this does need, though, is just a little save. Okay, so make your changes, click save, or Command or Control and S, and saves it out, and you're all done. And that is what triggers the live preview in disco mode, or deep code mode is what it's actually called. But I'm an idiot. Right. Okay. Cool. So that's the panels. Those are the panels. Those are all the options with the panels. I think, right, leave that there. Let's go back to creative mode. Just need to show you that we do have responsive. Okay, so just, drag this in here, and this site is not very responsive. Okay, I need to sort that out. But yeah, cool. So there we go. That works well. We do have a link to FEWD Studio documentation and the site here. The last bit for us to really look at is here. We've got the terminal. Actually, I'm going to get out of this site, so let's use this one and just disconnect the project. I'm going to go to, what should we go to? Yeah, that, I don't know where. I've got so many test little projects going on. Yoga website. This is the one that I'm creating on the full site build. Okay, so just need to hook up all of the different files, and we're away. I don't need that one. I want my globals. Okay, coolio. All right, so we're all here, and let's have a look at the terminal. And the reason I want to do that is because I've got Gemini on this one. Well, I've got Claude as well, but I don't want to use up my tokens. We've got full terminal use here, so you can go in and create files if you want, if you don't want to do it in the project folder, which I will show you in a bit. But we also have AI integration by way of the terminal, which is pretty cool. So I don't know. I've never actually done it. Please change the text on my index page hero from awaken your spirit. I've never done this. I'm assuming it will work. To awaken your soul. Let's see if this works. I mean, like, it works if you're using Claude and whatever, but I mean, it's just whether it makes sense of it. Well, should we see? Da, 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 da. I shouldn't have chosen Gemini because it is slower than Claude. Always has been. And I need this to be a quicker video in a one take and just put it up. So yeah, I don't know. I might have to cancel this one, guys. I'm sorry. And we'll do an AI video another time. Okay, let me keep talking. We'll see what happens. Oh, found one match. I mean, you could have done this yourself faster. That is often the case with AI, in honesty. But yeah, I've found Gemini a lot better for sort of scaffolding project folders, like saying, I want this component and that component and that component, and I want them all to have their own style sheet, and it just goes, and that's great. A little content change like this is ridiculous. Okay, anyway, so we do have terminal within FEWD, and you can have more than one if that's helpful to you, and then you can close it down. You can go full screen on this one if you wish. Hopefully that's just gonna close it. That's cool. I knew that. Right. Okay. The other thing we've got here on what I'm calling more the operations panel is the push to Git. Now there is a video on the FEWD YouTube channel. Yes, God. Allow for this session. Okay. So just because we're working directly on files, if you happen to pop into VS Code or something like that and you change something and you've still got FEWD open, you don't want them to be out of sync and save one place and not the other. And so if FEWD detects that there's been a change made by yourself on VS Code somewhere else, or AI, you need to reload that, and then it will sync up. Okay. So the Git push button. And well done, Gem. Well done, Gem. We'll close that down, I think. Push to Git. Yeah, there's a video on my YouTube channel of how you can initialize Git, and of course you can do that from your terminal. So you're in the folder, you initialize it first time, you do your first push, and then all you have to do is type in your commit and push it up. And you can see that working for me on some of the videos when I'm editing my FEWD site actually. So yeah, once you've got it initialized, you just type in your notes, so changed out the hero section or whatever, and then click push, and you're done. I don't know if this one is set up, so altered hero text. I can't remember if I did do that. Oh, apparently I did. All right, so that's saved. I didn't want to lose that save, did I? Cool. All right, and then that's done, and you carry on working. Export to bricks. Of course, it's any export. You know, you export it for anything. The idea of this one is that it's going to yoga site, and I'm going to save it onto the desktop. And the idea with this is that it collects up all of the different open with VS Code just so you can see it. Okay, and it gives you the HTML document. It gathers up all of the variables that were used by the selectors that are in the page, and maybe a couple more for luck, but these are, yeah, they're within the selector realm, like the Ben, but essentially it's taking the sheet, and then somewhere all the way down here we've actually got all of the HTML of the page, and yeah, works really well. I say it works really well. Bricks has been a bit iffy. I've seen a lot of people getting AI pages, AI produced pages, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Something I've noticed is that when I'm looking into it, CSS nesting is not actually so commonplace. It's not for all browsers and every use, and I think that can trip Bricks up a little bit. So it might be worth chucking it into AI or something and saying like unnest this or something. Anyway, so yeah, export button works really well. Most of the time, I've had it work a number of times up to Bricks. Sometimes just because of the way some things are formed out, it hasn't worked so well. But it's mainly been okay. Something to watch on that one. But some of that is the Bricks side as well. Cool. Okay, so that is the interface. That's quite a lot of everything there. That's the tool that I think you needed, and I hope that wasn't too painful. Right, so let's actually look at a quick workflow just to get something together. All right, first of all, you're going to set the directory for you to do something in. In this case, it's going to be the desktop, and then we click this icon down here right below right below me, new folder in project, and we're going to click that one, and we're going to create FEWD launch site, or God, why is it so hard to think of a demo name? Oh, demo name. There we are. Our demo name project. That's ridiculous. Then I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to add images and fonts. All right, so images and fonts. Then we need to add some files. So we would want to have an index.html. You could do this in terminal if you want. Just navigate. Well, you're already in your folder, and then touch index.html, and then styles.css. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, globals.css. Not going to do the JavaScript. We don't need that right now. Okay, cool. So we've just created all the files and folders that we need, and so we can close that down. All right. So we've created everything. Now let's just hook up to everything. So HTML, demo name. Oh, yeah. I mean, we should have then set our project directory, but FEWD's going to remind us anyway, or it should do. Let me down. Oh, it's because we have set one. There we are. But I'm going to set it to the right one. There we go. It just makes things a bit smoother. So, styles. Don't know where that was from. Header actions. Never seen that before. Great example, Chris. Okay. Globals.css. Right, so we've got 3 files all hooked up. That's good. Why can't I drag that one? There. Okay, cool. Right. Right, okay, so we've hooked everything up. We're ready to go. What are we going to do? That's a big question. Let's just make a hero section. First of all, let's open up Gen CSS. So this version might not actually work. I've just been compiling it all. So need to actually connect to our folder, our file, globals CSS. There we are. All right, so now this separate app is editing the same file that we're connected to here, globals. Okay, this one isn't connected up properly, but it should, if you are connected to a global and you click this one, it's going to open up GenCSS and already connect you to the file. Okay, so idea of GenCSS obviously is that we set all of our branding decisions. Okay, all really lovely. This is grayed out obviously because nothing is set. You don't have to set anything on that one, but we're going to. And then we've got the actual color assignments. So, you know, BG white is obviously that. BG gray is going to go. That's a terrible thing to have, but, you know, I'm sorting all of this out. And the idea is that this is going to be a whole demo page, and you're just going to go down and you're going to be able to sort of see it in real time, you know, all the little different, you know, the padding and things like that. And yeah, so it's a way to actually see what's going on. In other systems, you kind of have to like create something and then see that it's changing. Here, we just want to be able to have our client document, our branding document, jump onto here and convert it all into code and just, you know, feel confident in what we've done. So here we would add in our typography and things like that. So that has to be added in, and don't forget to put the path there. So we've got our file fonts, which I did happen to call mine that, and then we would have inter, and we would need to put that one in there. Cool. So we've got body font, display font, and you can set the base rem, and it's going to affect everything. See how it's changing all of the different values. Okay, there's a lot to take in, but then of course we start having things like, you know, these are the variables that we're going to use. These are our primitive variables, and I will do more tutorials on all of this so that we understand what we're doing and why. But these are our primitive variables attached to absolute values, and we can add our own here. Okay, if you want to go outside of GenCSS, you can add your own, of course, but this is what gets you started and builds that framework for you. And then we've got the typography tokens, which are not variables. These are often what people start to actually type into their CSS or onto their selectors. You don't have to. You can type these, but if you just want some that are more semantically obvious, like their use case, this is when you use tokens. I've got a video on that on my channel if you want to understand them a little bit more. It was about how to style with breakdowns, but yeah, so you can see we've got all of these tokens for use. So then we've got spacing. All right, spacing is a big one. Now obviously we need to set our spacing. This is one that I'm just sort of experimenting with at the moment, so 0.50, and there is meant to be another setting here actually, but anyway, you can see that you get an idea of all of these, you know, visually, which is really helpful. That's going to be ugly. So yeah, anyway, so obviously this all translates to these tokens that you set. So you've got space S, and that's attached to var space 1, but you can change that if you want. You don't have to be limited by it, you know. So you've got the base variables fixed to these values. You can get very precise, or you've got these more helpful spacing tokens. And then we've got things like, you know, padding, and then gap, and yeah, very cool. So gap content, gap grid, I like to start with what it is and then with the variant of it. And so, you know, if you want to set it to something else, if you want gap content to be something else completely, or you actually want it to be a hard value, you can do that. So, you know, you could put in 2rem if you want. I don't know if I have to put the semicolon there actually. I don't think I do. No, of course I don't. I've not done that before because I've been using the tying it to the variables. Okay, cool. So all of that is, yeah, working really well. And then we've got layout. Now there's an alteration in FEWD that I'll be making and putting on the next release. But you know, you might want to set your max width for your container, and the alteration in FEWD would be to actually set that. So, you know, That's how that works. So 1136 is the best. And then buttons and links, obviously you'd want to change all of these. Not sure that this one is working yet. No. Should we test it? No. Okay, I'll get there. I haven't really tended to this document, to be honest. But yeah, it's going to be a very sort of like more interactive visual type of thing. The important thing is that all of this is just to produce a style sheet, which, let's have a look on the bigger one here. Now you can edit it here. You can come in here and make edits if you want, and then you apply the changes, and that is going to show in here anyway. So it keeps it in sync for you. But you know, it's kind of better not to, because if you're like me, then you forget a curly bracket or something, and something's going to mess up somewhere. But let's have a look at this. Let's see something that we could change. Font, something easy to find, I suppose. That one. All right. So accent. I actually don't know where I would find that. That should be in base and utilities, but I haven't checked that out. Boom. Yeah, no, okay, that would have been a waste of time. Cool. Anyway, so this is coming along, but I pulled it out of FEWD, and it needs a lot more organization to come back in. But this is a whole like companion app, and the important thing is that it doesn't matter if you're using FEWD or VS Code or anything. You know, it's going to give you this whole sort of framework file, which ultimately that is what a CSS framework is. This will grow. There will be a lot more to it as I'm learning. I'm putting in things, you know, for accessibility and for background images and things like that are accurate and good. Anyway, so save all that. Now, obviously, we had an empty global sheet just now. If I just minimize Gen CSS, that's cool. That makes a right twat out of me. No, right, no, let's do that again. So save. Oh, save. Yeah, it's changed externally. There we are. Okay, cool. And we've got the body coming along there, and it's all transferred over. Well, it hasn't transferred over, it's just edited the actual file. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, there we go. That's all working well. Now let's quickly make something. So we've seen how to start a project in FEWD. You know, we set the directory, we create the folders that we need, we create the files that we need. You can do that in Terminal if you wish. Now let's use an insert to just get going really quickly, and then we'll get what should we get? We'll do another. I think there's one just like that, so then it's just another section, and then let's bung in a footer, because that makes sense. So footer with classes, and we've got a page coming along there. Yeah, cool. And we've got some BEM already going on. So we've got hero inner, we can work with that. Let's min height 16 rem, background var, neutral, dark one. Cool. All right, so let's have a look at our global sheet. You see that that's added in there. That's really cool. That's what would output on a larger scale. And then, well, and you can see that that's tying into the variables and everything that we've got here. Now, this has gone a little bit beyond the scope of time that I have, but I hope that was really helpful. I think, you know, we'll get into a bigger build. I'll go and have a look at my YouTube channel. You'll see that there's a full site build where I start getting it together, but I will do a more succinct build for a page coming up. I think we're going to start on a few more tutorials that are coming along now, and FEWD will obviously be in use for all of that. But yeah, hope that was helpful, and yeah, throw me any questions, and yeah, hope you're enjoying. Yeah, speak to you soon. Crack on.